Now, before going into the law, let me first tell you the statement of the law. The law states that the total amount of heat evolved or absorbed is same whether the reaction takes place in one step or several steps. Okay, so let me explain it. Suppose if you have uh, three reactions. Say the first reaction is A plus B giving C and some heat is evolved. The enthalpy change associated with this reaction is, let it be, delta H1. Now if you have the second reaction C plus D giving E and some heat is evolved, and delta H2 is the enthalpy change associated with this reaction. And third reaction is E plus F giving G and some heat is evolved, and let the enthalpy change be delta H3. Now if you want to calculate the enthalpy change associated with the overall reaction, that is A is converted to G with some heat is revolved. So that is the question: how much enthalpy is released during the conversion of A to G? So delta H equals how much for this reaction? For this reaction, how much will be the delta change? So that is what we are going to see the uh, in this law. So this law is basically, it tells you that if you have these three values here, then the overall enthalpy change for the conversion of A to G will be the sum of all these individual change in the enthalpy. Okay, so that's what it says. The total amount of heat evolved or absorbed is same whether the reaction takes place in one step or several steps. Here the conversion of A to G does not take place in one step. It takes place in three steps: A plus B giving C, C plus D giving E, and E plus F giving H. Suppose if you want to measure the enthalpy change associated with A is getting converted to G, then we have to add all these three enthalpy change to get the final enthalpy change or the overall enthalpy change. Okay, this is the law, Hess's law. Now let us do some problem and see how we get a better understanding of this law. We know that the enthalpy is defined as H is equal to internal energy plus pressure volume work done. Okay, now again, as I told you, we only measure the change in any parameter. Therefore delta H will be given equal to delta U plus P delta V, because P is the external pressure which remains constant, that is the atmospheric pressure which remains constant. Therefore enthalpy is a state function. Okay, it depends only on the state of the system. Now the change in the enthalpy, it depends, is given by final minus initial, that is product minus reactant, that is enthalpy of products minus enthalpy of reactants. Always the change in any parameter is given by products minus reactants. Okay, therefore it does not depend on the path, it depends only on the state of the system. Now suppose if you have this reaction C plus O2 CO2 plus heat, some heat is evolved, that is it is a exothermic reaction. Now what is the enthalpy change associated with this reaction? That is the formation of CO2. What is the enthalpy change? So as you can see here, the heat content of the reactant is given by HR, and the heat content of the product is HP, and some amount of heat is released. So this we have seen already. As you can see from this reaction, that HR equals HP plus some heat. Therefore HR will be greater than HP, that is the heat content of the reactant will be greater than the heat content of the product. Therefore when you measure the change in the enthalpy, that is delta H, that will be given by products minus reactant. This value will be a negative value because HR is greater. Since this value is greater, this value will be a negative value, which means for all the exothermic reactions, the delta H value is going to be negative. This you have to remember. Similarly, for any endothermic reaction, suppose if you take a reaction, say reactants, plus if you supply some heat, then it will go to form products. For example, if you take say H2 plus O2 plus current, if you supply current, electrolysis, if you do electrolysis, then or you can take it as, if you take water, and if you supply current, you will have hydrogen plus oxygen that is coming out of this. So if you take 2 molecules of water, you will get 2 hydrogen and 1 molecules of oxygen. Now here the energy is added to the reactant. So now if the heat content of the reactant is HR plus some energy that you are giving, which will be equals, this will be the heat content of the product. Now as you can see from this equation, HP is greater than HR. HP is greater than HR. Therefore, if you do the delta H, change in the enthalpy is equal to product minus reactant. And since HP is greater than HR, this value is going to be a positive value. That means this is a, now this is, since the energy is supplied to the reaction, this will be an endothermic reaction. So for an endothermic reaction, the delta H is positive. So you note it down in your, write it down in your notebook. For an endothermic reaction, delta H is going to be positive, and for an exothermic reaction, the delta H is going to be negative. This is a very fundamental point that you need to remember, because we will be employing this in many steps. Okay, quickly I want you to copy this and work on that. Suppose I'll give you a problem. Now I'll give you the input data. So what does the problem says? Consider the 3 reactions in which carbon, first reaction C plus O2 graphite gives CO2. Enthalpy change associated with this is minus 393 point this, and consider this reaction, enthalpy change is given this value, and for this reaction the enthalpy change is this much value, this much heat is evolved per mole of the compound. Now you can see that now this is reaction A and reaction B. Now if I want to study the enthalpy of C plus O2 giving CO2 overall reaction, now it takes place in 2 steps. In the first step, carbon monoxide is formed. In the second step, carbon dioxide is formed. But if I want this overall reaction, enthalpy change associated with this overall reaction, so what should I do? As I told you, Hess's law of constant heat summation states that it will be the when the reaction takes place in more than one step. That is, I want CO2, but I get it in 2 steps. Then how do I measure the enthalpy change associated with this reaction? I add up the enthalpies of these 2 to get the final enthalpy. So this is a worked out example of the Hess's law of constant heat summation. So you will get a problem on this topic, in which they will give you some input data, and like this they will give some 3 reactions, and then they will ask you to find out the overall reaction. Okay, so before going into the problem, we will see the application of Hess's law in various aspects, and then we will try to do some problems in the Hess's law. The first application is calculation of enthalpy of formation. So what is enthalpy of formation? Enthalpy of formation is the enthalpy change associated with the formation of a compound from the elements, formation of the compounds from the elements. So you have to be very careful in the definition of the enthalpy of formation. I repeat once again, enthalpy of formation is the enthalpy change associated with this. that is we represented by F. When we put F, it indicates that it is the enthalpy change of formation. H stands for enthalpy of the CO2 compound. So this is how we write the enthalpy of formation of a compound for any reaction. Now the formation of CO2 from C and O2 is called as enthalpy of formation. You can also prepare CO2 by different methods. Say for example, if you take calcium carbonate, if you heat, thermolytic decomposition of calcium carbonate also gives you CO2. The enthalpy change associated with this reaction is not enthalpy of formation of CO2. Here also CO2 is formed, but in the enthalpy change வந்து நம்ம enthalpy of formation ன்னு சொல்ல மாட்டோம். அதே மாதிரி if you take carbon monoxide plus half O2 gives CO2, இதுலேயும் CO2 form ஆகுது, பட் இதையும் நம்ம enthalpy of formation சொல்ல மாட்டோம். அதே மாதிரி if you take say for example waterல வந்து H2 plus half O2 H2O form ஆகுது இல்லையா, இதை வந்து enthalpy of formation of water அப்படின்னு நம்ம சொல்லுவோம். We call this as enthalpy of formation of water because they are formed from the அந்த வாட்டரில் இருக்கக்கூடிய எலமெண்ட்ஸ்லேருந்து ஃபார்ம் ஆகுது. வாட்டரில் what are the elements in the water? It contains hydrogen and oxygen. So if water is formed from hydrogen and oxygen, then we say that it is the enthalpy of formation from the elements, we can say that. But if you see here, if you burn the methane, combustion of methane, if you heat methane, you will get CO2 plus H2O. Okay, here also water is formed, but this one we don't call this as enthalpy of formation. So what is enthalpy of formation? It is the enthalpy change associated with this reaction when the compound is formed from the elements. அந்த காம்பவுண்டில் என்னென்ன எலமெண்ட் இருக்கோ அந்த எலமெண்ட்லேருந்து அந்த காம்பவுண்ட் ஃபார்ம் ஆகும்போது வரக்கூடிய enthalpy change மட்டும்தான் we say that it is the enthalpy of formation. Other reactions we do not say. So this we can calculate using the Hess's law. We can calculate it. So you can calculate the enthalpy of formation. That's what I shown you here. So this is the enthalpy of formation. So this is an example of enthalpy of formation of CO2 from C and O2. This is how you can calculate. So this is the first application of Hess's law. Then second application is say for example, one more example I'll give you for the formation of CH4. Now calculate the you can take down this problem in your notebook so that you will understand how to write it. So you start writing the problem in your notebook. I will tell you how to solve this problem. Calculate the enthalpy of formation of methane delta F HCH4 from the following data. So this is how they'll ask you question in your school test. So they'll give you some equation like this. So first reaction A, C plus O2 gives CO2. The enthalpy change associated with this reaction is given as 3 minus 393.5 kilojoules per mole. And second reaction H2 plus half O2 gives H2O. Enthalpy change associated with this reaction is minus 285.8 kilojoules per mole. Then the third reaction is methane plus 2O2 gives CO2 plus 2H2O. Enthalpy change associated with this reaction is minus 890.3 kilojoules per mole. So from these three data you have to calculate the delta F formation of methane. Okay, so how do we do this? Now for doing this you have to consider these three equations as a simple linear equation. That is, by suitably changing, suppose by suitably manipulating these three equations we can calculate the enthalpy of formation of methane. How do we do that? So for the formation of methane, so what is the enthalpy of formation? Definition tells methane form ஆகணும்னா இந்த ரியாக்ஷன்ல இருந்து methane form ஆனாதான் we call this as formation. வேற எந்த ரியாக்ஷன்ல இருந்து வந்தாலும் we don't call that as formation of methane. So how do you define enthalpy of formation? Enthalpy of formation is defined as C plus 2H2 gives CH4. So in the equation number kondu varum. How do we bring this? So how do we bring this? So now what you have to do is you have to manipulate these three equations. So for example, A and B நம்ம add பண்றோம். When you add A and B, I will show you here. Calculate the enthalpy of formation of carbon monoxide CO from these two equations. So you have been given C plus O2 gives CO2, CO plus half O2 gives CO2. So you have these two equations. So in the first equation you can have, this is what you want, this is what you want. So what is enthalpy of formation of CO? It is the formation of CO from the elements using this equation. So we want this equation. We have to use these two equations and get the final equation. So how do we do that? இப்போ நம்ம என்ன பண்ணோம், ரெண்டே ரெண்டு தான் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. So first you subtract, if you subtract A, so what you will get, C plus O2 minus CO minus half O2 equals CO2 minus CO2, CO2 minus CO2 if you subtract. So as you can see here, now you have this O2 minus half O2, this is 1 O2 minus half O2 will be half O2. This CO is minus, you push it to the other side, you get CO. Okay, now you have the enthalpy for this value, enthalpy for this value. So if you subtract A from B, you will get this value for enthalpy of formation of CO. Okay, so this is basically solving of simple linear equations. So you will be given 2-3 linear equations like that. Instead of linear equation, you have a chemical equation, that's all. So you treat them as a mathematical linear equation and you can solve for X or Y, which you would have done in your class 10. Okay, then the next application of Hess's law is enthalpy of allotropic transformation. Okay, so what is allotropic transformation? So you have allotropes, you would have studied in 10th standard. For carbon you have two types of allotropes, one is graphite, another is diamond. So how to calculate the enthalpy of allotropic transformation? டைரெக்டாக நம்மளால் கால்குலேட் பண்ண முடியாது. சப்போஸ் இப்போது கிராஃபைட்லேருந்து டைமண்ட் ஃபார்ம் ஆகணும் அப்படின்னா how do you calculate? It's very difficult. You cannot calculate this enthalpy. அதுக்காக தான் நம்ம இந்த ரியாக்ஷன் நம்மளால் we can study this reaction. C plus O2 gives CO2. We can calculate this enthalpy using bomb calorimeter. Using diamond, when you burn diamond you get CO2. You can calculate this using bomb calorimeter. ஸோ இந்த ரெண்டு வேல்யூ நம்மளுக்கு கிடச்சிடும். இந்த ரெண்டு வேல்யூலேருந்து இந்த வேல்யூவை எப்படி கால்குலேட் பண்ணுறது? Hess's law will help you to calculate this. So how do you calculate this? Same way. What do you have to do? You take this, you take this. Now what do? You subtract. You subtract. That is, you do A minus B. A minus B will give you this value. So what is A? C plus O2 minus, that is C graphite plus O2 gives C graphite plus O2 minus C diamond minus O2 here. Minus O2 will give you, here you have CO2 and minus CO2 here. So these two will get cancelled. O2 will get cancelled. Cg graphite minus Cd equals 0. So you push this to the other side, you get Cg giving Cd. That is this equation you will get. So you can calculate the, so if you subtract this value, then you will get the enthalpy of allotropic transformation for graphite to diamond. Okay, similarly you can also calculate the enthalpy of hydration. So what is enthalpy of hydration? You would have studied in 10th standard the washing soda. Washing soda is sodium carbonate decahydrate, 10H2O. This is not okay. This is blue vitriol. Is this? Don't confuse with this. This is blue vitriol. Okay. Now suppose, for example, how do we calculate the enthalpy of hydration using Hess's law? இப்போ இந்த காப்பர் சல்ஃபேட்டில் பார்த்தோன்னா காப்பர் சல்ஃபேட் சாலிட் in aqueous, if you put it in water, you get CuSO4 or a solid வந்து dissolve பண்றோம். Then if you that 5H2O will take up this CuSO4 will take up 5H2O, and then still if you dissolve it, you get a solution. You get a solution of copper sulfate. So இதோட enthalpy change வந்து, this is enthalpy of solution. You get this in the value, we know this value. Again when you dissolve this, again you get another enthalpy of solution. இதோட value வந்து இவ்வளோ வரும். Now using these two values, how do you calculate this equation, that is copper sulfate plus 5H2O giving CuSO4 dot 5H2O. This is what we want. This is what is called as hydration, enthalpy of hydration. So the enthalpy change associated with this reaction, in the reaction la evlo enthalpy varum அப்படின்றத calculate பண்றதுக்கு we use these two equations, this equation and this equation. How do you do that? So what you have to do, subtract. So if you subtract A minus B, so if you subtract A minus B, you get CuSO4 minus plus 5H2O minus CuSO4 dot 5H2O equals CuSO4 minus CuSO4, you get it on this side. So you can calculate the enthalpy of hydration using this. Similarly, you can also calculate the enthalpy of combustion. So what is enthalpy of combustion? Enthalpy of combustion C, delta CH, is defined as the enthalpy change associated with the burning of 1 mole of a substance. So if you take 1 mole of a substance, and when you burn it, whatever the heat that is associated with that will be called as the enthalpy of combustion. For example, CH4 plus 2O2 gives CO2 plus 2H2. So you take 1 mole of this substance, you burn, you get the product. Now the enthalpy change associated with this reaction will be called as enthalpy of combustion. Similarly, so that is the application of Hess's law. Then we have another concept called as standard enthalpy. So what do you mean by standard enthalpy is, whenever you measure the enthalpy change under standard conditions, we call that as STP. STP is standard temperature and pressure. That is, you can say 298 degree Kelvin, that is 25 degrees centigrade, and 1 bar or 1 atmospheric pressure or 1 bar pressure, then it is called as the standard condition. So heat change associated with any process occurring at 298 Kelvin and 1 bar pressure is called as the standard enthalpy. We put a small degree symbol on the top of this H to represent the standard enthalpy change. Okay, so that is the another definition you will get in your a question may get in your school test. Define standard enthalpy. So this is what you have to write for that equation. Then we have lot of enthalpy change associated. We have enthalpy of neutralization. Previously we saw enthalpy of combustion, enthalpy of hydration, enthalpy of allotropic formation, transformation, enthalpy of formation. So like this we have lot of enthalpy of solution, enthalpy of dilution. So whatever process that you do, there will always be a heat change associated with that process. So that is called as the enthalpy change. Okay, now the last one we saw for today is the enthalpy of neutralization. So you know what is neutralization? Acid plus base gives you salt plus water is called as the enthalpy of neutralization. Okay, so if you take 1 gram equivalent of a acid, if you neutralize a 1 gram equivalent of an acid by a base, then we call that as the neutralization, enthalpy change of the neutralization. For a strong base and a strong acid forming salt plus water, the neutralization value is a fixed value, that is minus 557.1 kilojoule per mole. So you note down this value for enthalpy of neutralization. In the numerical problem, if they ask you in your school test, you have to write this, remember this value. They will not give you this value. They expect you to remember this value, enthalpy of neutralization of strong acid and strong base forming salt and water to produce this. Okay, so again delta H naught standard enthalpy change is given by product minus reactant. Standard enthalpy of product minus standard enthalpy of reactant. Now, suppose if there are more than one product, in all these reactions we saw this is two products are there. In some reactions there will be one product. In some reactions there will be only one product. In some reaction there will be two products or three products like that. So now when you have more than one product, we add all the products, and when there are more than one reactant we add all the reactants. That's why we put the symbol sigma. So what do you mean by sigma? Sigma means you add the enthalpy change of all the products and you add the enthalpy change of all the reactant, and then if you subtract you get the overall change in the enthalpy of this reaction. Okay, so I'll stop here. So if you